Hi Libra, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and Libra, this is going to be a general reading for you. There's no date on my reading, so I trust that when it comes to your feed and you're watching it, it's meant for you. So in today's reading, I'm going to be using the Curious Travels deck, if you saw that, and then I'm going to be using the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. And this is my way that I shuffle because I find it doesn't ruin my cards and it really does a good job of shuffling. So I usually do that before I come on, but today I did it on the channel. So on the reading. We're going to be doing a reading today that's sort of come up because I've been feeling a lot of fear in my system this last few weeks, and I know that a lot of you are feeling that, and I think the world right now is feeling that, and so it's really important to get a really understand of our fear and how it works. And it's such an intense emotion. It's not one of those. It's probably one of the most intense ones in our system, and it can show up in a lot of ways. For me, my fear was coming up with an extreme couple ways. I just felt this anxiety in my chest, and I literally sat at the edge of my bed one day, and I was like, I want to tear my chest out. It was just this anxiety, and I felt this extreme paralysis because I wanted to do something. Like there was like, I have to do something because of the world situation and things have been going on. It's just like there was something, it was bringing up this intense fear in me. And I know, I was starting to pay attention to my dreams because sometimes, you can get some real nightmarish dreams around when you're feeling this way, when your fear's coming out, and just a lot of stress can come out as well. So, and thing about fear, it's an emotion that's going to affect everything. We can't just put it away. And we try to block it. Because we're trying to push it down because we don't want it to affect our daily life, and we don't want to feel it. We're scared, and our ego self is the part of us that is incredibly petrified of emotions, and definitely it's afraid of fear. So it's like you have this ego that's afraid, and it's trying to push down all your fear and keep you up in your head so you don't feel it and don't look at it. So you have this fear of the fear going on in your system. And so today what we're going to do is I'm going to do a reading with you, and it's called We're going to conquer your fears. And we're going to look at, first of all, where your fear is showing up in your life. That's going to give me a general idea of, what situation you're dealing with that's bringing up some fear for you right now. And how you're blocking your fear, because like I said, sometimes, we do. Our ego will try to block it. And so oftentimes underneath certain emotions, the fear will be sitting because we're trying to block it. And then what's the origin of this fear? Well, we're going to look at, where is this coming from? Because what's happening is we have this outer world that's going on with you right now. And we know that, there's a lot going on out there, Libra. Like, let's be honest right now. And there's a lot of fear mongering going around, and we're feeling it, and it's triggering us, and we can't understand why. And so it's triggering our own fear inside of our system, and we have to look at that so that we're able to realize, okay, this is going on. We process it, we heal it, and that helps us a lot with the fear. I can tell you, I don't feel any more fear now because it was something that was coming up in my system. It was triggering me. So, and then we're going to ask for some advice from the tarot as to how you can begin to release this fear. And I'll leave you with a playlist at the end where I'm going to leave you with some really good videos on how to journal from your fear, and 3 others that I did for you on my other channel called Carol Cares. All right, so let's begin. I'm going to put you on speed shuffle right now. It's going to take a few seconds. I'm going to set up your reading. All right. All right, Libra, back. So let's look at, first of all, where is the fear showing up in your life right now? You start off with the 5 of Swords. And this particular individual has, look at all this bandages from, he's starting to look like a mummy. He's been you know, looks like he's been doing this for a while, right? And for me, the Five of Swords, I always look at this, I call this my bullying card, because in the back you don't see these individuals, but these are the individuals that have been bullied, and they're, you know, they're just so much full of shame, because when you're bullied, I mean, let's face it, bullies bully because they're full of shame themselves, and so they need to take out their shame on someone else and hand it, and it just makes us feel bullied. So it looks like there's some real, I don't know if there's, and it's a general reading here, so I'm seeing here that you're feeling bullied right now, and that could be coming out in a workplace. There's lots of bullies in the boardroom, and you know, I myself have been bullied. I am a retired teacher, so I've been bullied by adults around me, but I've parents, administrators, and I've also been bullied, actually, believe it or not, by students I taught. So you can be bullied, and you're sitting in a situation right now where, you know, you're feeling bullied by someone, and you know, it's a general reading, so you decide what's going on here. And you know, oftentimes where you're just feeling, you're feeling like you don't get, here's this individual, the Seven of Wands, is standing on this pedestal all by themselves, and you can see, you know, these are all these people that are coming at you. Maybe it's the bully that's coming at you, and you're trying to fight them off. But this person is all alone, and they don't feel like they're protected, and they don't feel like they're supported. So you're not feeling the support around you to protect yourself from this bullying, this bully that's going on, that's happening in your life right now. You're feeling very much alone, and that can bring up a lot of loneliness. Bullying can actually bring up a lot of shame. So we'll see what's happening for you right now. But in your own life right now, this is what's happening, where you're being bullied and you're not feeling supported or validated around. Maybe you've talked to people about it, you've told people, because oftentimes it's not something we want to admit. I mean, to be honest with you, when I was bullied by students of mine, I couldn't walk into it depended on what it was. I did once. I remember once it was one particular student that was really harassing me, and so I had to report that student. But there was times when it was like that, and it can be that real underhanded kind of quiet bullying that you know what's happening, but they make it, you know, they can make it seem like it doesn't. And with some group of students in my class, and it was happening, and I knew it was happening, but it was triggering something in me. But at the time, I wasn't in therapy back then, and I didn't have the awareness around me. So when it was happening to me, who am I going to go tell? You know, and it's kind of like, maybe this is where you are. You're feeling very much alone with this. Like, who am I going to tell? How do I prove this? You know, nobody's going to believe me. And that's kind of what maybe is going on with you, because you have this Five of Cups in reverse right here. And the Five of Cups in an upright position talks about this individual that is really focused on those three cups that are spilled right there. They're kind of going through a dark night of the soul. And so I'm wondering if that's what's happening with you, where you're just kind of like, you've been going through this period for a while, and bullying can go on for a long time, right? Especially if we don't deal with it and figure out how to deal with it. And they're not realizing that there's a silver lining, there's a bridge over here that they can get over, and they can walk away, and they don't see this flow, this beautiful flow of emotions here. That's what water is in all my deck, in all my cards. It's represents our emotions, and they're very much stuck, very much to the point where they've almost given up. But they're very much, this is my card of depression, that are very much, I can call depression, or I often call it too, it's the card of loneliness, where you're feeling very alone, or a card of just giving up, you know. So whatever that is for you, where you're feeling a lot of hopelessness, a lot of loneliness, giving up. And you know, I think it's really become quite, there's a real, I don't think you see a way out, right? There's a real resistance on your part. Maybe not resistance, could be some denial. But you're just kind of, you don't see a way out. I don't see a way out. And because it's, you know, it's in reverse, where it's just like, it's got to a point where, okay, I think there's a real fear on your part. Maybe you fear this bully. And that's where we can really, like, when I talk about my own situation in the beginning, where these students were bullying me in my classroom once, where I didn't see a way out, I feared going to that class every single day. I had this intense fear come up in my system. And so if you're someone that works in an office right now, or wherever you're working, if it's something to do with being bullied at work, you're going to hate getting up every single morning and going to work when you have to face this bully every single day. And so that's the fear that's coming up for you right now. Interestingly enough, if you think about it, what's going on in our world right now, and this is why I'm doing this, to be honest with you, you know, there is a big bully out there, a couple big bullies actually, that, you know, I think are putting a lot of fear in people. And this is what's happened, is it's going to trigger our own fear, our own situation of what's going on right now. And for you, it's all about bullying. But I will say, without even looking right here, we're going to look at the origin of that, right? We're going to figure out, okay, what's the origin of this? But before that, I'm going to look at how are you blocking this? Because you have this fear in your system that's coming up right now. And, you know, you're having to face this bully or this bullying, and there's a bunch of fear coming up. And so what we do, like I said, is we try to block it. And so what you're trying to do is you're just trying to keep yourself busy. And this is the Two of Pentacles, and this is a card about this individual that's, you know, juggling these pentacles right here, and look at all their different hands, very much confused, multitasking. And it's got to a point right now where, you know, I don't think you realize it because it's in reverse. I don't think you realize how busy you are. Maybe you know that. Maybe you know, I'm just trying to keep myself distracted. I'm just gonna if I keep myself distracted, I don't think about it, and I'll pretend, if you know, maybe you're at work with a bully, I'll just keep myself busy and I'll pretend that it's not existing and they don't exist, and this situation isn't happening right now. And believe me, I did the same thing, where you just kind of, and it's almost like a form of it's a form of avoiding it and not thinking about it and blocking yourself and distracting yourself, and because you don't want to deal with it, don't want to deal with that fear, don't want to deal with that shame that's coming up for you, right? It could be fear of the emotion of shame, because sometimes our ego self doesn't like to feel shame. It could be the fear of the bully. It could be the fear of the bully, you know. And right behind it is this little page that's sitting here. So behind your distraction, you have this little Page of Swords here. And the pages of my deck are my inner children, your inner children. We have more than one inner child. I know mainstream psychology likes to say we just have one, but I've been on my own healing journey for my own complex trauma for a while, and still am, and probably will be for the rest of my life. But this page right here, so I know I have more than one inner child, and this particular page has a sword. It's the younger child of yours that knew who you were. It's that sort of, I call it the sword of authenticity. I call it the sword that's going to cut through all that bullshit. When you were young, when you came into this world, you knew exactly who you were. You knew exactly who you were. But, you know, if this bullying took place, and we're going to see what's in your shadow here. If you were bullied when you were younger, well, you really lost sense of who you were, right? You really lost sense of it. And this page, this little child, is blocked. And there's a part of you that wants an inner child of yours that holds your truth, holds who you were, you know, before any of this happened to you when you were younger. But you're really keeping yourself distracted, and you're blocking this inner child that maybe holds the shame, that maybe holds the fear, and they're trying to talk to you. They're trying to say, listen, I need healing. And that's, our inner children need healing. They hold our memories, they hold our emotions, and they try to, it's like they're tugging at you on your pant leg and saying, listen, I need you to feel these big emotions that I felt when I was younger and I couldn't. And I want you to pay attention to me, and I want you to hear me out. But you're blocking that. You know, you're really blocking it. And then you have this Magician right here. And you know, I think the Magician card speaks about having everything at your disposal. to make things happen. The magician is the magical, the manifester. It can manifest anything, but the magician here is a very grounded magician, right? In upright position, he has this lightning rod in his hand. Well, he acts like a lightning rod, actually. He has this wand in his hand. He's holding it up. And when he wants to manifest anything into his life, he just holds it up and he acts as a lightning rod, and it comes from the divine. And the healing, the power that he has comes from the divine, and it's going to go back into the earth, right? It's like, it's not something he holds on to and keeps, but he has everything at his disposal, but it's blocked here. And so I'm feeling like you don't feel like you have it in you to face this shame, this fear, this bully in your life. It's very much in reverse. So you're not feeling that at all, that you can tackle this right now. And you're not wanting to. And it explains here why, because you have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. This card right here talks about these individuals that are walking by this place of worship. And they know they need some help. They need some warmth. They need some clothes, right? Because it's snowing out, it's cold. They're not even looking towards that place of worship. They're not even considering that they deserve it to go into that place of worship and ask, or that not even feeling worthy enough. This is very much a card of unworthiness. It's very much a card of shame, and it's in reverse. And so you definitely have some shame here that is coming up, and it's a shame around this bullying for sure, because that's what I talked about, bullies and how they bring out that shame in us. And so I'm feeling here that you have this fear in you of looking at what's this bullying about, and maybe there's something that's happening in your own life right now where you're feeling bullied, and it's bringing up this shame right now. And so you're really blocking it with that feeling of, maybe your feeling of unworthiness is really blocking your fear right now. And sometimes it can bring about some real hopelessness for you. But oftentimes too, our ego will keep us busy and distracted so that we don't go towards this fear. And so let's look at now what the origin of your fear is. What's going on? Where is this all coming from? And that's what's most important, right? Because this is what needs healing. Once you heal this, you're going to heal this outer world stuff that you're feeling right here, right? So at the time when I was bullied as a teacher, I didn't deal with it. I dealt with it in a different way, and is not the way I would deal with it now, because it was a trigger for my own stuff that I needed to look at. And so what is it that you need to look at? What is it that you need to heal that's coming up from your childhood? Well, there's a memory coming up. Nine of Swords is my memory card. I talked about often how we can have dreams and nightmares, and that's how our fear can show up. There's a memory here coming up for you about bullying, about shame. And there's a child, your inner child over there has this memory, right? They hold your truth, that sort of truth. They know, and they're the ones that they are the ones, our inner children. They carry our memories, and they're wanting to tell you. And so there's a memory coming up here. And the Queen of Pentacles comes up next. And the Queen of Pentacles is, the Queen is our feminine side. We all have a feminine side, and we have a masculine side. Masculine side is the ego. We talked about a little bit about the ego here. That's the masculine side. But then we have this Queen in Pentacles that's buried over here. And I think the Pentacle is our body, has everything to do with our body, has everything to do about being grounded in our body and feeling our emotions. And so I see that as a younger child, there was something that happened to you, trauma, something that happened to you. There's a memory that caused you to not be able to be in your body, because as a child, when we're younger, we are normally around 4, 5, 6 years old. We are very much in our body, and we feel everything. And that's why we feel our anger, and we feel our Kids are all over the place with their feelings. And they feel free when they're younger until, adults and people around us start to say, what are you doing showing that emotion for? What are you doing that for, right? They repress it in us. And so I think as a child, you realized it was not a safe place in your body. You realized at a very young age that it wasn't a safe place to be in your body. And so if it's not a safe place to be in your body, you'll go in your head. Your ego will take you and put you up in your head. And that's where you've learned right now that when it's not a safe place for you, when you're feeling these emotions coming up and you go, oh my God, I don't feel safe. This is coming from childhood, not feeling safe. You will distract yourself, and that keeps you right up in your head. And then the Five of Swords comes out right here, and this is the last card for, what's coming up here as from your childhood. Well, you have the Five of Swords in reverse. And the Five of Swords in an upright position is my bullying card. It's this individual that has just, won another battle here. And, look at this big grimace on his face and look at the clouds. It's like there's something real sketchy and something that you really can't trust going on here, right? But in the background, I always focus on that individual way at the back. And he has his hands like this, and he's covering his face, because whenever I cover my face, and when I'm going through some grief and going through processing some emotions with my own memories, I'm feeling shame when I'm covering up my face. And so I call this my bullying card. It's my shame card. And it's in reverse because it's blocked. And so something happened to you. There's some memory here where you didn't feel safe in your body anymore. And you didn't feel safe to feel certain things. And where you were just felt a lot of shame about who you were. Maybe could be anything. Could be where you were, something to do with what's going on right here, where you were bullied and you just felt a lot of shame around it. And so there's this situation that's coming up for you now because it's meant to make you look at what's this situation right now. So you've got, this outer world where there's some real bullying going on and some shady things, and we're feeling some fear. It's triggering right now something that's going on in our life that's also triggering our own shame from childhood. And so I'm really feeling like there's some shame here that's being triggered here. And so what is the advice from the tarot, and how can you begin to release this fear? I did say already that you're being bullied. The first card that comes out here, there's some bullying going on. And then for the first card for advice from the tarot, you get my safety card. This is the Six of Swords. This is the card where this almost looks like a shaman. A shaman is, holds that eye mask over their eyes, and they're protecting this younger child in a boat, taking them away somewhere. And I'm sure that when you were younger, you wished that someone could come and take you away, whatever the situation was, right? And this is this shaman, it's like this guiding spirit, if you want, it's taking them away to a safer place. This is the you need to get yourself safe. And when that card comes out, that's what I says. Do you need to get to safety? And that's what I'll entitle this is. Do you need to get to safety? And because if you're not safe, you won't be able to heal this. So you need to be safe first of all. And it's a general reading. You need to get yourself to safety. The Hangman comes up in reverse. Yes, it's in reverse. And the Hangman in an upright position is this individual that's hanging by his foot on, and he's quite comfortable, not afraid at all, quite comfortable in their own skin. But this is in reverse for you. So I can see here is because you are so afraid, wherever you are, you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, right? You could not possibly let your guard down. You're not able to let your guard down in the situation that you're in regarding this bully, And that's why you need to get to a safe place. And this individual is walking away here. 8 of Cups comes up. And they're not walking away from their emotions. It's like, I call this the dark night of the soul kind of thing. It's like it's time to start to feel some of these emotions. They're walking away so that they can take some time alone to start to feel, to start to heal. I had to walk away. I had to walk away from people in my life that hurt me from my past. And I needed to be alone. And oftentimes in our journey, this journey that we take, our healing journey, we need to walk away from people. We need to let them go because we need to take time. We need to get to a safe place. And we need to be alone to start to heal and feel some of the shame. And so this is a completely general reading. I don't know what this means for you. But I will leave a playlist for you at the end about your fear. And there's also a lot of other emotions on a lot of other videos on my other channel, Carol Cares, if you're interested, just to help you out with some of your shame as well. But let's start out with looking at your fear and writing from your fear. What are you afraid to do? Maybe you're afraid to walk away. I can't leave. I can't. Write from those emotions of what's scaring you right now, because that is really what you're needing to look at right now, Libra. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working right now, what you're working through right now. This is a very difficult journey, the healing journey, but it's the most important one in your life. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.